So hi guys, so we'll look into ReactJs interview questions. So we'll look into machine coding round actually. So in machine coding round, interviewer will ask you to write a code, like write a live code in the ReactJs. There will be problem statement given to you, and you will have to implement that by sharing your screen. So you need to be well versed with your React. You should be fast with React. Basically what they expect is how well you know your concepts and how you can implement it for a short problems that they give you. Usually these are the short problems are very standardized. Usually it's timer, countdown timer, stopwatch, then loader, and we'll look into all those questions one by one. Today we'll look into stopwatch timer. Okay, so let me start by creating a React project for it. Let's say create React app stopwatch. My spelling is wrong. Stopwatch. Oh, sorry. npx create React app. I'm sorry, I forgot to put it. This will create a React app for those who don't know, and this particular video is not for like a beginner, like those who are starting out in React. For those who want to learn React, they should learn React. I expect you to have a basic understanding of React first before watching this video. This is for basically for machine coding kind of interview. So let's start. So my installation is done. Okay, so let's just start with doing npm start. Okay, this will run my React application. Okay, let it load. Meanwhile, we'll plan out how we are going to develop this stopwatch. Okay, so I'll just write here in comment how I'm planning to develop this. Okay, so we'll need a timer. Okay, let's say r minute and seconds. So we have this timer. Below that we'll need two buttons. One is to stop and start the timer. Okay, not timer, a stopwatch. Then I have reset button. Also what I'm thinking is you must have seen people athletes doing the laps. So there is always a button called lap. When you click on that lap, the particular time gets recorded. Okay, and we'll be printing that time like this, say 32 and say 000201. So it will get printed as a list, but for that we'll also need one more button called lap. Okay, so roughly this is how our application will look like. In that, we'll need few components. One is we'll have to create a list, we'll have to create buttons, and we'll have to create timer. Let's just focus on the timer and the buttons. So I have created a folder called components. Let's add timer.js, and we'll need button.js. Let me write const button. I'll write a functional component here, and it returns button, and it will have a label which will taken as props. Okay, it will also have a handler, button handler. This is on click handler for this button. Okay, so this event will be triggered when you click. This event will be triggered and passed down up the props. And let's just export default button. Okay, also we'll put some class name, say button, and I'll use the existing CSS here. Okay, I'll not create a new one. So that is app.css. We'll use the same one. So we have a button component. Let's create a timer component. Timer. Okay. Return div timer, and let's just import it in our. We'll remove this junk. Okay, and just import timer. Oh, we have not exported this timer. Export default timer. Okay, fantastic. Now in app.js, let's import this timer. It will auto import for me, and now it will work. There is some issue. I need to refresh. Yeah, so I can see the timer which I have written, right? This component is getting rendered here in the middle. That's timer. And what I'll do is I'll start writing this timer. We'll need, first component is timer component div. Let's put class name time. Okay, we'll have some time over here, 000000. Okay, and let's just, then we'll have controls. So controls will have our buttons. We'll need 3 buttons. Okay, button 1 2 3, and each button will be this label. This is our start button. We'll name it start at the beginning. Later we'll make it as a switchable button, lap, and another button is reset. Let's not focus on lap for now, that we'll do it later. And yeah, we have some sort of timer here. Let's just quickly put some CSS for the button. Let's say we have padding 10px, 20px, then font size 24px. Okay, looks good. Border none, border radius say 5px, outline none, and yeah, looks good. Margin say 20px. Okay, yeah, this looks good. Let's go to our app.css. Since I've imported app.css, right, I can use this dot button. This dot button, yeah, it looks nice now, I guess. Yeah, okay. Now let's just put some CSS to this time. We have font size say 50px. 50 also looks a bit. 100px. 100px looks good. Yeah, that's it. And we have timer 100px, and let's just, oh, I just didn't import it here. So in timer, right, in time, oh, this should have been timer. Okay, so and I need to import app.css here. Import app.css. Okay, so we have a very nice looking timer here. Let's get this timer working now. So for that we'll need a variable called time. Okay, time, and set time, and this is the state that I'm declaring, and we'll need a use state, and initially it's 0. Let's import uh, use state from React. We need to import it from React library. So we have a use state, and this time we need to make it work, right? So we need to start use effect, okay, and let it run just once, and now we'll create a interval inside it. So that interval will basically track our time. So let's say let interval okay, interval equals set interval, okay, and this gets updated every 1000 milliseconds, that is every second, and we need to clear this interval. So always when you write intervals or timers in the use effect, right, you need to make sure you clear them. So for that, how you clear it is this: you return clear interval and pass in the interval, okay. You always clear the intervals, and before this we need to pause and play, right? So what we'll do is we'll do running state, okay, and set running, and use state is false. So initially it's not running, and what we'll do is if it's running, then let's update the interval, otherwise let's not, okay. And now the button, if it's running, it should show as stop, otherwise it should show as start, okay. And button handler, what it should do is it should toggle run, okay. So toggle run handler. So what I'll do is I'll create a function called const toggle run handler. What it does is it takes in set running, okay, previous state, and we negate the previous state, okay. So if you see it goes from start to stop to start to stop, okay. So this works, but our timer doesn't work because we are not updating the time yet. So what we'll need to do is here, okay, if it's running, time, set time previous time equals to previous time plus 1. So every interval, like every 1 second, you need to update the time, okay. And for that we need two dependencies here. One is time, because you're using time here, and another one is running, okay. So okay, so this is done. Now okay, we need to display it over here, okay. So we need to do some conversions, okay. We need an R, okay, const R. So how do we no, first we'll start with the seconds, okay. Seconds, in seconds this time is getting updated every second, right? So we can directly use the second here, but there is a catch, okay. There is a catch. I'll show you what the catch is. Say we have second, right? If we start, it will take time, but I'll tell you what the issue is. After 60, right, it will go to 61, 62, 63, and we don't want that, okay. So what we do is we do percent means, I mean, modulus of time with 60. So after 60 it will reset to 0. And one more thing, what we should do is mat.floor. So we don't want decimal values, so we are using mat.floor, okay. Second, we need to calculate the minutes. For minutes, what we'll have to do is a minute, every 60 seconds is 1 minute. So time, it will be, sorry, not minute, it will be time divided by 60. Again we have the same problem. that after also minutes, also after 60 minutes it will go to 61. So again, let's put the modulus. Okay, sorry, let's put the modulus. Modulus of 60. Okay, and we'll have R. So R, we don't have restriction. If you want to keep a restriction of 12 hours, like a 24 hours, that's up to you. But in stopwatch, usually you don't have any R restrictions, right? You can, if you want to, put it days also, then you can modify it accordingly. But we'll stick to hours. So it will be mat.floor and time divided by 60 into 60. Okay, because 60 is of minute, and then again to convert that seconds into hours, it's 60. That is basically 3600. So what you can do is you can put minute here and put hour here. Okay, there is one more improvement we need to do. So look at this. So it works perfectly fine. This looks quite bad because it's 0 and 2 and 9, the single digits. Okay, so we'll do something like format time. We'll write a function called format time. Okay, constant format time. It takes in time t. Okay, and what it returns is, if t is greater than 9, then it returns t, otherwise it returns 0 and t. Great. And what I can do is format time r, format time minute, and format time second. Yeah, it works fine, I guess. Yeah, if you start, yeah, it works perfect. Now let's make this reset button work. Okay, button handler, reset button handler. What I can do is constant, oh my bad, constant reset button handler. Okay, what it does is it will set running as false. Okay, set running as false. Okay, and set time as 0. Let's just format this. Looks great. Let's reset. Yeah, it's resetted, and it again start. So our timer is here. Okay, so my timer works. Let's go one step ahead. Let's create the list, lap timer here. Let's add this button, lap. Yeah, so we have a lap button, and we'll need another component called list.js, and let's make it list, const list equals return. This is a list, no, this is a div. Okay, and this is a list. Export default list. Okay, and let's import it below this. So we'll need another div, that's list class name timer list. Let's just add some CSS to it. So what I'll do is let's just do it later, not now. I'll have here array of past laps. Let's just call it laps and set laps. Let's just initialize this state to empty array. Okay, and we'll need another function that will update the laps. Okay, const update laps. So at this time what it will do is it will take the second. Okay, it will make current, it will make figure out current time. How it will figure out current time is format time r. Okay, let's do a string out of it. Okay, this, then format time minute, and format time seconds. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to update this laps. So set laps, previous laps. No, let's just do one thing. Okay, previous laps, spread this, and we add current time. I think this is good. Okay, and update laps. So for this button handler, on click we update laps. Okay, and we need to pass this as data. Okay, laps, and in the list we take data in. Okay, and data dot map. Let's just render this data dot map. Data dot map item. We return we return div item. Let's check. Start lap. Okay, this works. So we need to put this item as item, and yeah, so we are getting lap time as well. Let's just add some CSS to it. Let's mark the parent div. Let's put some height equals, say, 300 pixels. Let's say 500 pixels. 500 pixels looks good. And overflow scroll, overflow x. I think overflow x. Yeah, overflow, sorry, y, and scroll. And let's just say this is 300 looks good. And font size inside that, font size, say 30 px, no, 50 px. Yes, padding 10 px, say 30 px, margin 30 px. This looks better now. And let's put it here. What do we need now? Okay, timer list. In timer list we need to put this CSS. Timer list, we need to put this CSS. And if you see that, we need to, okay, yes, it works. Let's just put one more check. Update lap. If running, not of running, if running equals false, we just return. So we don't want to update laps if it's not running. Okay, this looks good. Let's just close this. Set we refresh, we start. Okay, lap, stop, lap doesn't work, start, lap. Yeah, so this is our stopwatch timer. If you have any issues, like if you have any suggestions for me, if you have any doubts, please discuss in the comments, and please ask me. I'll try to reply everyone. And yeah, if you want some, if you have some suggestions from your end, please do let me know. And yes, if you like the content, please like, share and subscribe. So thank you, thanks very much.